when I was thinking about this interview, one of my highlights was watching you play at St Andrews. You, Yeston, Adam Trichel, Jake was there. I won't spoil it for you, sir. Look, that's one highlight. Do you want to talk about St Andrews, your time there, and then any other highlights you have?
It was a great thing to be able to play the RNA Tour series when I was there during my last 2 years. We managed to travel across Europe, and definitely the best memories from my university life and my university golf program were traveling with my friends and really enjoying playing different golf courses. But the final prize was making it into the finals and playing St Andrews Old Course the last day of the final. And it was the first time I played. You were there. I even had a couple of friends over that were studying in Aberdeen watching me around. And I just started off okay, hold a couple of putts. And all of a sudden, I'm like 2 under on the Old Course. Absolutely no bogeys. I'm like, we're playing well. We're doing something really well here.
The following is a conversation with Ignacio Mateo Fraga. I had the pleasure of having Ignacio as part of the HPP squad when we were at Exeter in the high performance set of golfers. Ignacio's just turned pro. He talks about his journey to becoming a plus handicapper, some of his favourite memories of being at Exeter University, and what he's up to now as a golfer and how he plans to get better. Enjoy. Ignacio, first of all, I'm glad to see you've still got the strong tash going.
I know. It's wholly on strong.
We just had a little catch up off air, but do you want to just tell everyone, I suppose your golfing story to date and what you're up to at the moment?
Yes, so I've just graduated from the University of Exeter as of 2 weeks right now. Just submitted my dissertation, and now I just turned professional and going to start pursuing my dream of being the best golfer I can and trying to make it as high as I can. I just started playing the PGA of Spain, which is some sort of tour around Spain, and then I'm preparing basically for Alps Tour Q School, which is happening in November. So at the moment, I'm just based in Spain. Came back from the UK. I'm based in Spain and just preparing for that big moment in November as good as I can, and then just try to make it from there.
Awesome. Now, this is actually going to be interesting for me because obviously we hung out a lot at Exeter Uni, but I don't know your backstory. So when did you start golf? What level did you get to? And then I suppose, how did you end up at Exeter when we ended up catching up?
Yeah, so I mean, golf has always been very big in my family. I've started playing golf since I was like 4. So my dad has always taken me to the golf course, just hang around with him, and he was always a pretty good golfer. So I got to learn from a good golfer from the get-go, which is quite handy. And then I kept playing golf with my golf club and stuff like that, just locally and around my area of Spain. Then started playing some national events when I was like 12, 14. And then I started playing some better golf when I was like 16 or so, which I moved to the US for a year. I went to the south of Texas. And over there, I managed to, I ended up living with a fantastic host family, which was super passionate about golf. So that allowed me to play golf every weekend in the super nice golf courses. It was great weather. So I just practiced for a lot of time there with a lot of good teammates as well, which also helped to improve. But I mean, nothing too serious. I was probably off like 1 or something like that at that point. So I was a pretty good golfer, I would say, but nothing to what I got to when I got to Exeter. I got to Exeter off scratch, and all of a sudden I have gym, psychology, training sessions every day. And I'm like, oh my God, like I can get really good at this really quickly because I was just used to playing in the weekend. I was really focused on studying and all that. And I didn't really have the golf course as close as I wanted from my house. So I wasn't able to practice as much. And then in Exeter, I just practiced so much that I got so much better quickly.
And that was one of the things I wanted to talk about is like these jumps. So what were you sort of say like 12? What were you when you went to the US? Was there anything at that time that you remember making a big difference? And then I suppose going forward to Exeter, what made the difference then? Was it just volume or?
I guess when you're 12, I was at least playing so many sports. I was playing football, basketball. I was trying to do some swimming, English lessons on the side as well. I was just really busy. And then when I was like 12, I decided to only focus on golf on my free time. So that really helped me get from like 15 handicap to almost 6 when I was 14, which I think, I was pretty decent by that point. I think 14 years old being off 6, that's a pretty good level. But then afterwards, it's really hard to balance golf and studies. and I really struggle to try and make time to practice during the week. I still put a lot of time into it, but I think I just when I was of 6, when I was 14, all the way up to Exeter, it wasn't like a huge increase in time spent practicing. I was spending time during the weekends and not much more. And I think I just got better because I got bigger and I could hit the ball a bit further. And after practicing a bit more, I managed to get better. But I think the bigger difference was in Exeter by far. That was when for me I started practicing more than 3 times a week or 2 times a week to almost every day, and have it as one of my clear important things during the day to do, like practice my golf. I didn't never have that before because I always was focused on just going to school, get better with English, and just go to the UK to study and just preparing for that. I wasn't really preparing to become a professional golfer then.
And then I suppose just to sort of tail end that, what's the lowest you got to at Exeter and just before you turned pro, I suppose, because handicaps jump a bit these days. But...
So just before I turned pro, I managed to get to +3.5, which starting in Exeter, I was of 0.9, so 0.9 positive, like above 0.
4.5 shots is pretty good at that level.
4.5 shots in 4 years, because one of the years I did not touch a golf club because I was working. So in 4 years, 4.5 shots. I say that was what Harry Scott at the time told us. We want to try and get you 1 stroke better every year, and if that happens by the end of this, you'll be pretty good at golf. So,
well, congrats first of all managing it. That's it. And then I suppose what made the difference? You talked about practice there. For people who don't know what the golf setup is, we're obviously going to be biased and say how great Exeter is, but what does that look like? And then for you, what were some of the changes that helped you in terms of your development?
I always had a golf coach here in Spain, but it was more of a catch-up thing. I'm struggling, I'm hitting big draws. Let's go and see the pro and try and sort it out. And then the next weekend, I'm still hitting big draws. And I never really had any sort of plan in place. Whereas in Exeter, I just had a set of goals that I wanted to achieve. I had a set of exercises that I needed to do every week, some things that I needed to really work on because of my stats, because I was weaker in that area, or because I wanted to strengthen that area. So having a plan in place really helped. And then secondly, being able to practice with other people really helped, because it's just massive. Now I'm already noticing the big difference, because I'm not practicing on my own, but I don't have 10 other guys that are as willing to put the effort in as I was in Exeter, because everybody's just really cheering you on as well. They're trying to help you out as much as they can. They also want to challenge you. They want to beat you. So it's a good setup. It's a good mindset to have, and a good environment to have if you're trying to improve quickly. Whenever you're playing with other good golfers, you become a good golfer, I guess.
Yeah, and that was one of my questions I had when I was sort of thinking about this, is how are you trying to emulate that now you've finished? Because I know from being down there and being lucky enough to be there for 2 years, and that's a really special environment, and I think that's what people get from college golf. So how do you think pros or elite amateurs can replicate that if they haven't got access to those types of things?
Yeah, so definitely I don't have access to all the coaching that I had, all the different sort of coaches and small details and performance specific things that I had in Exeter.
Are you missing Andy's 8 a.m. sessions on a Friday?
I'm missing waking up at 7 a.m. and wanting to do it. Now it's just like I'm doing it by myself. I don't have other people to do it. It's really challenging to do it. So I'm really missing those things and just being pushed by other people to keep working. But here, what I'm doing is I'm trying to surround myself with people that are trying to do the same thing or something similar than I am. So I've got some other pros that are really trying to make it as well around my area. So I'm trying to play with them as much as I can, because that really helps. And then in the gym, I'm just trying to also be with other people around my area that are also into sports. So trying to get people that are motivated for a reason, even if it's not golf related, really helps. I don't think I can quite replicate Exeter. I'm never going to be able to do it, especially my little area of Spain. I don't have as many pros as I wanted to. But yeah, I mean, it's just impossible to replicate it, but you try and do it as the best you can.
I think at least you know what good practice looks like in terms of what worked for you, and then you can try and emulate those bits, which
Yes,
is
exactly. Yes.
yeah is useful to a degree. One other final thing with this transition, I don't know if you're doing extra work at the moment, but are you finding that you're less efficient with your time now you have, say, more time to practice, or are you still managing to be really focused?
I believe I'm not as focused as I was in Exeter. In Exeter, it was a grind. I just every single minute that I had for golf, it was very important. So it's just not as easy to manage the time as well whenever you have the whole day from the moment you wake up. But I am trying to keep myself as busy as I can and trying to not to get carried away with other things that are not golf related. So I'm just always trying to do something for a reason. I try to think, is this actually making me improve, or is this just something that I'm just doing randomly? So I do try and have some sort of plan in place and really think about what I'm doing. Uh, it's not as easy as I said, but yeah, having a lot of time is definitely better than not having time, like in Exeter.
True. I've seen it so many times with like pros who are trying to make it on the main tour, and it's almost like this inefficiency because there's so much time, but as soon as you don't do much you feel guilty.
Yeah,
And it's that but I always think, like, if you can do 4 really good hours practice in a day, that's good. You're going to have some where you do 10, but actually 4 and then switching off and getting away is almost as important. But I know it's a really hard thing for people who are sort of lucky enough to dedicate some time. It's that inefficiency grows, and you can almost be inefficient and get worse even though you're doing more than kind of more compact time. But yeah, I'm sure you're a bright man, you'll work that out, that won't be a problem. So a couple more questions on Exeter. So I was going to ask you your highlight, and when I was thinking about this interview, one of my highlights was watching you play at St Andrews. You, Yeston, Adam Tridgell, Jake was there. I won't spoil it for you, sir. Look, that's one highlight. Do you want to talk about St Andrews, your time there, and then any other highlights you have?
yes, absolutely. So it was a great thing to be able to play the R&A Tour Series when I was there during my last 2 years. We managed to travel across Europe, and definitely the best memories from my university life and my university golf program were traveling with my friends and really enjoying playing different golf courses. But the final prize was making it into the finals and playing St Andrews Old Course the last day of the final. And it was the first time I played. You were there. I even had a couple of friends over that were studying in Aberdeen watching me around. And I just started off okay, hold a couple putts. And all of a sudden, I'm like 2 under on the Old Course. Absolutely no bogeys. I'm like, we're playing well. We're doing something really well here. And then I ended up shooting 4 under bogey free, which was one of the best feelings ever, because you're just in such a fantastic place. With obviously you're gonna get to celebrate afterwards because we have a big dinner with everybody from the tour. So it was just a fantastic day, and really capped it off by no bogeys, which made it even more stress free, I guess.
Oh, it was amazing to watch. You played some awesome golf as well. Like, it started calm, got a little bit windy. It wasn't torrential, but it was still challenging enough that, to go around bogey free is so impressive. So yeah, it was one of the highlights of me being there as well. I was just watching you all out there competing, which was amazing. And then I have to ask for some more insight as well, because sadly, as much as I enjoyed my time at Exeter, I was never going to be the favourite person as part of the golf team, because we have Jerry there, who everyone loves Jerry because he's amazing. So Jerry was the psych that we had that supported us with golf, and still keep in touch with Jerry. But what did you learn from Jerry? What did you learn from a psych perspective? What do you take away that was really beneficial for your game?
Definitely one of the best things of the golf program was the psychological aspect of it, and the sessions with Jerry. Uh, is something that was completely new to me. So every single detail, every single piece of information that he gave us was something that was beneficial to all of us, I think. For me, he really helped me when I was struggling to get the job done in tournaments, especially this last year. And I got many good takeaways from sessions with him on how to handle the pressure and how to cope with it, basically. Not just trying to fight it, just actually cope with the pressure. So all the different tasks that we did with him in actual like golf course environments helped me. And I feel like now I'm more ready to go into professional golf thanks to that. Just handling pressure and understanding that it's always going to be there. You can't just try and get away from it. You just need to cope with it and make it your ally rather than your enemy.
Yeah, now I think this is something, if you don't mind, if we can dive in deeper, because a lot of people who haven't been there think like pros are like robots and don't have these feelings. Whereas, like, as you know, you played some exceptional golf around there. I spoke to pros who played like the first hole of the British Open, and they're shaking so much they don't think they're going to make contact with the golf ball. But they look incredible from the outside. You don't think that. So it depends how much you want to share. But like, I suppose, what were you sort of struggling with, and what would go on in terms of like thoughts and then feelings, and then how would Jerry tell you to approach that?
It got to the point that I would be on the final group playing some really good golf the past couple of days, and all of a sudden something doesn't go as planned. And the moment that one thing doesn't go as planned, one shot doesn't go the way that I thought it was going to go, everything started to crumble really quickly. And I started to make really not good decisions, basically just trying to solve it quickly. So like going for a pin that I shouldn't go for, or trying to make a ridiculous decision off the tee or something like that. Just trying to get it, trying to fix it. I don't know if you like quickly. And with Jerry, I just breathing techniques really helped me to calm me down after each shot and before each shot. Just also to try and get my head out of thinking just golf all the time. Just try and think about something else. You can't just be focused 5 hours every time that you're playing golf. So trying to think about something else. And whenever you're focused, whenever you need to hit a golf shot, just focus, breathe, be calm, and try and make a rational decision all the time. And also, it really helped me writing down how I felt during the round every time that I played. So regardless of what tournament, how I played, if I played well or bad, it was really important for me to afterwards really dedicate a little bit of time on thinking, how did I feel out there today? What have I done well? What have I done wrong? What do I need to work on? And also understand what decisions were made from a very not great position, or some things that were done well, that were done pretty well.
That's awesome to hear. And I think that like kind of reflection bit is one of those really boring things that people don't want to do. But like when you get into trying to get good psychologically, it's just a lot of boring logical stuff that you have to keep working on, don't you, to go through. But yeah, again, conversations with Jerry are just so much fun. He sometimes says some stuff and I'm like, that's amazing. And then I'm trying to remember how he phrased it. And he's so good at doing that. But yeah, there's so many takeaways. But it's great to hear that from you. And yeah, he's such a wise man. Hopefully I'll get him on at some point to talk about.
You definitely need to get him on, yeah. He's definitely more interested than I am.
So I think that kind of moves on to, really nice to hear where you've got to, how you've got to +3.5 turn pro. Your goal, as you said, was to get better over the next couple of years. How are you trying to do that? Like, how do you sit down and kind of go through that process now? And what do you think you need to work on to reach, say, +5, +6? And that's kind of the standard where you can hopefully start to make a good living.
Yes. Based on numbers and what I can see when I played a couple of golf pro tournaments already, and I could already sense what my gaps are and what things I need to work on. I feel like everybody's just so good with their wedges and putting and chipping. You just need to be on it all the time. You can't just have off days of putting. You just need to be super good. And it's something that I really struggle with putting. I feel like I have really good streaks of putting, really bad streaks of putting. Definitely my technical side of putting is a bit strange. We've worked on it before together, and it's always been something that I've struggled with. But yeah, putting is something that is really important, I think, for my development as a golfer. Definitely wedge game. I'm working right now with technology, so I have a foresight that I get to use every day in my golf club, and I'm just using it to dial in the distances as much as I can, trying to get the right numbers all the time. Today we played a par 3 course that is nearby my place, and it's just super fun to work on it, and it's something that you're really going to see the improvement in your golf game really quickly. especially if you're not, even if you're not a professional golfer. Like, I feel like everybody's just trying to hit range balls all the time, whereas the important things are happening near the hole when you're on the greens or on the green.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a tough one because when you look at amateurs versus pros, yeah, they lose most of their shots in long game and most of their shots driving and approach. But trying to get someone to hit a driver like McIlroy or their irons like some like Scotty Scheffler, so difficult. Whereas if you actually give a 20 handicapper 10 balls with a wedge and give them feedback on how far the ball goes, they get better.
They do it. Yeah.
They get better quickly, and it's the same with chipping. And it's those things that, yeah, I think you can make some really big wins there with that. So that's cool to hear. And another thing I should say, from the last year that we played, didn't play much golf with you guys, sadly, but I managed to have a game up in Scotland, which was awesome. I borrowed Jake's clubs, and we had a great game when a round of the tournament got cancelled. And then we played at East Devon towards the end of it. We won't go into the result there with what happened with me and Craig versus you boys, but I'm sure you're not bitter. But one of the biggest transitions is you put on 40 yards, would you say, in terms of driving distance?
Yeah, I put on a lot of distance. I feel like now is one of my strengths now. I was an average hitter, and yeah, one of the off seasons when we were just really, when it was really cold in Exeter, and we were pretty much limited to the fantastic golf studio that we get, but that we get to use, and the stack system. I was on it every day with Yestin and Adam, and we really, each one of us, saw big improvements. I think I got from 108, which I was that fourth year of uni, to finish in over 123. If I wanted to actually get it a bit hot, I could get it up to 123, which is just huge, because if I'm confident with my swing and I can hit some big drives and really just have flick of wedges pretty much in every par four, which is just unreal. It's just so much easier to play golf that way anyways.
It changes it. And I think, just give people a bit of insight, because it was really interesting for me down there. Obviously I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to sports science, but we did 8 weeks of strength and conditioning training leading up to Christmas. And what was really interesting was the people that participated, like yourself. We had some people that were less keen, but from pre-season to Christmas, club head speed actually didn't go up at all, as much as you all got stronger. As soon as you had that specific stimulus of like the stack system and feedback, I think is really important. You guys that did it flew. It was crazy to watch. So I think, yeah, pairing that with some really good gym work is impressive. But yeah, it was a bit of a shock. I was so sad, because I think I knocked it past you most times around Scotland if we hit a good one, and then I was miles behind you when we played in May. So
that might be true.
That's fine. You're a young elite athlete. I'll let it happen. That's awesome. And again, it was just one of those sort of great things to see. During the time there. So I think, just to kind of sort of wrap this up, because I want to be, careful with your time. You're a busy man. You've got to go and keep improving. But we've heard sort of your story. What advice have you got for aspiring golfers? Maybe if they're sort of, to start off with, like, 15 to 18, and again want to follow sort of a pathway to see how good they can get as a pro. And then I'll ask your advice for sort of general amateurs as well, I think, as well. So let's start with the young juniors.
I just feel like you need to have fun. Whenever you're young, you just need to have fun playing golf. If you don't have fun playing golf, it's impossible to improve. I feel like the environment that we had in Exeter was just so much fun. Everybody was out there enjoying their game. It's a game at the end of the day, and you just really need to enjoy it. Obviously, if you are trying to be a bit more specific, obviously just putting the time is just crucial, because everybody says that they don't have time and all that, and you do have time. You just need to find it. Spending so much time in the short game area really helps. I was struggling so badly chipping in first year. I was just hitting greens, otherwise it was a bogey. And at the end of the year, of my fourth year, I could just hit it anywhere, and all of a sudden I would just make a par. So I just feel like short game is just crucial to really improve at the end of the game, at the end of the very last step, as I said before. But yeah, I mean, for example, for me, really worked. The stack system really helped me out to improve. So I'm definitely 100% telling everyone right now, in my golf club and all that, because the same way that you're shocked with I hit it far now, the people around me are also here in Spain, are also like wow, this guy now hits it. So people are trying to learn from me and trying to learn what did I do, because I'm still the same skinny guy. Obviously not as a skinny. I'm the same skinny guy. I'm not. I didn't put up 20 pounds or anything. Like I'm just.
You weren't winning competitions in the gym, were you? You were
I was not.
you were winning them on the golf course, but yeah.
But in none of it, I was. Yeah. You just need to put work every day in the gym. It really helps you out, obviously, to prevent injuries as well. But then the stack system was very very crucial part of my improvement. But yeah, if you have a bit of time, just improve it just spend it in the short game area.
Awesome. And then I suppose we're going to have a lot of other club golfers listening to this who could be, new on their journey. There could be single figures trying to get down to sort of scratch and plus. What are some of the things that you observe that you think, say, high handicappers maybe struggle with or do wrong, or easy wins, and then for lower handicappers as well?
Uh, I I've been noticing many things now in my golf club because I'm spending so much time there. I'm just trying to understand these amateurs there, and they just rock up, get the clubs from the locker. They rock up to a range, get a couple tokens, hit balls. Oh, great, this one is good. Whatever. They don't really pay attention to anything. They just hit balls. And then if there is one that is good, oh, fantastic. If it's not, great. Whatever. They don't go to the short game area at all. I'm the only one there. Nobody goes there. They just leave after they hit like their 30 golf balls. I feel like if you have a little bit of structure and something that you can actually follow to improve, you'll just see the benefits so quickly, because people are just there spending time because they do have a bit of time. They spend an hour there, but they spend it in a random way. They don't really put focus into their training or any specific training they're doing.
I think that's great advice. I'd second all of that. Yeah, as you know, I'm keen on practice, and yeah, we see that a lot. So yeah, I think people mistakenly think if they practice, they're going to get better, whereas learning's expensive. So you actually have to force the body to learn, and feedback, and yeah, having a specific goal in mind are key, aren't they? Which I know you do really well. So that's awesome, Ignacio. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Will.
We'll keep up with your progress.
Thank you, thank you. Hopefully some wins thanks to Gary and and my new mindset. But yeah, I'm just trying to put as much work as I can right now, and hopefully I can update you guys with some good results.